nobody's ever done before. This particular deck will be used by everybody. There's nobody excluded now by any means. So we're so blessed and we're very thankful to all of you who worked so hard on this. And with that, I'll step aside and just say thank you all very, very much for sharing in such a wonderful celebration.
As mentioned, my name is Matt Shaw. I'm the Parks Department Manager for Anderson County. To turn around and look out at Timmerman Jr. Parking lot is actually thrilling to see this many cars parked to recognize this momentous day. Initiative and commitment are something that drives the Boy Scout to reach and attain the Eagle Scout rank. And personally, I didn't make it past Life Scout, and I was told all along the way that I would regret it if I never made it. And I can honestly say that since in my position here at the Parks Department, I've actually I said those words to some scouts myself, because I truly do regret not reaching the Eagle Scout. So I commend you personally just on your achievement, Ben. But at the same time, that initiative and commitment is what drove Ben to reach out to us in a conversation at the last Saluda River Rally for potentially a project to help improve and expand the recreation opportunities in Anderson County on the Saluda River corridor. Dolly Cooper was one of the locations that he was selecting or going to consider. When it came down to Timmerman, there was a beautiful and seamless fold into developing a recreation opportunity in a very densely populated area of Anderson County to provide a fishing deck that is, as Ms. Wilson said, available and accessible to everybody. So on behalf of the Parks Department, Sharon, who can't be here today, and as well as Sandy Hanebrink, we want to commend you and thank you personally for your efforts and commitment here.
It's an honor to be here, honor to come out and say a few words. I feel like I've watched Ben grow up here in the Scout program, been very involved with his dad over the years. It's a great scouting family. Every year in Anderson County, there's between 19 and 22 boys that attain the rank of Eagle Scout. And in the upstate, that's the Blue Ridge Council, every year we'll have about 160 boys that make it Eagle Scout, which kind of sounds like a lot, but you got to remember there's about 9,000 boys participating in the scouting program. So there's a lot of kids in scouting. I've got just a few statistics that I think are very interesting that I'd like to read about Scouts, and some of it ties in with Eagle Scouts, and I think you guys will find these interesting. Okay, and bear with me because the first one, okay, it gets better. Okay, for every 100 boys that enter Scouts, 30 will drop out their first year. All right, so but it gets better. 12 will be from families that belong to no church. 6 of these will be brought into contact with a church and continue. 3 will become pastors. 4 Scouts will reach the rank of Eagle Scout. So 4 out of 100. 45 will serve in the military. 1 person will use Scout skills to save somebody else's life. 2 will report that they use Scout skills to save their own life. 17 will later serve as adult volunteers. 8 will enter their future life vocation from scouting. 5 will receive church emblems. Only 4 out of every 100 boys in the United States will become Scouts. But of the leaders of this nation, in business, religion, and politics, 3 of 4 were Scouts. Only 4% of our nation's youth were Scouts, yet 65% of all college and university graduates were Scouts. 26 of the 29 astronauts, 26 of 29 were Eagle Scouts. 133 of the 233 astronauts were in the Boy Scouts. A nationwide survey showed that of senior class presidents, 89% were Scouts. Junior class president, 80% were Scouts. School newspaper editors, 88% were Scouts. Football captains, 71% were Scouts. A few famous Scouts that were Eagle Scouts: Sam Walton, James Lovell, Hank Aaron, Gerald Ford, Ross Perot, John Glenn, Steven Spielberg. Some guys that got really close but didn't quite make it: John F. Kennedy, almost an Eagle Scout. Where's Matt? Okay, you got other company, okay? Jimmy Stewart, Harrison Ford, Merle Olson, Nolan Ryan, Joe Theismann, Bill Gates, and the list goes on. So Ben is coming into good company. I think everybody knows it's here, but you know, the great part about scouting is the kids are having fun, they're camping, they're doing all these neat opportunities, they're getting to spend a week at Camp Old Indian. But while they're doing all this great stuff, they're getting in a program that builds character. You know, it stands for being trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. It's, you know, what I want in my neighbor living next to me. So I think we should all be very glad that we've got a great scouting program in Anderson County. Proud of all our Boy Scouts and these wonderful projects. I think this is the coolest project. I told Ben I had to come back over here to talk to some kids at the school. It was the very first morning after this was built, and I mean they still hadn't even put all the posts in, and et cetera, et cetera. And I came out here and there were 2 kids, a mom and a dad, and they were out here fishing. And they're like, oh, we don't know how this got here, but we sure like it. And I'm like, yeah, you're not kidding. Let me tell you how it got here. This was built by an Eagle Scout, and there'll be a plaque. So I know the community really enjoys it, and thanks for letting me say a few words. Appreciate it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out. It's a wonderful day, isn't it? It seems every time I come out here, it's kind of like this. Something about this little parking lot. It's wonderful. This year has not been the greatest year for me and my family, and it's definitely added some doubt to my future plans, whether I was going to make Eagle Scout, whether I was going to even be able to begin the project. And luckily, by some miracle, we were able to finish the project, and I was able to get Eagle. But that's really just the small of it. What I appreciate more about doing this project is seeing the people from Pelzer out here, and how happy it makes them to be out here and just seeing how appreciative and how grateful they are for anything that people do for them. It's a pretty special thing, and I couldn't have gotten this far without everyone here. So the top of the list, Sandy Hanebrink. She basically is why I wanted to give back to the Anderson Parks Department, back to handicap accessible recreation in Anderson County, and it's through her that I've learned everything about how to make something accessible, and this deck is almost completely universally accessible, almost. We're missing a toe pick, but that's coming. She inspired me to call Mr. Matt Shell and Ms. Sharon Nicomento, and who then were excited to help me do what I wanted to do for recreation and disability recreation around here. So thank you.
I would like to bring up Rusty Burns, our county administrator, for closing remarks.
This is a great day for Anderson County. This is a great day for the Saluda River, and I can't say enough about what Matt and Sharon and Glenn have done to open up this river, to make this available to all citizens in Anderson and Greenville County. On our county council, we only have 7 members. We have 2 members of our military caucus. That's Mr. Waters and Mr. Allen. They represent our military caucus. Mr. Waters and Ms. Wilson represent the Saluda River Caucus. This is their river. They're the ones in charge of taking care of it. But this is a great day. Ben, you should be very proud, and you should be very honored. We're honored that we got to work with you, and all the people from the county who participated, all the scout leaders, all the scouts, everybody, the people in the community. Donnie from Building and Grounds, who lives right up the street up there. And I'm sure Donnie will keep a sharp eye on this, because he loves all things Pelzer and West Pelzer. He's just that way. And you've got a good guardian right there, because he's one of Anderson County's finest. And another thing, and the last thing, it's an honor to get to work with everybody who works for Anderson County and with Anderson County. We need more of these things on the river. We're going to get more of these things on the river. We only have 2 so far, and both of them are ADA compliant, if not a little bit more. And that's something that we will continue, and we will make this one of the greatest tourist attractions for our area. And Ben, it started with you, and I don't know what you're going to do when you get through going to school or something like that, but the way you hustled everybody together, I think you have a future as president. So. Friends from Powdersville Water Company, they've been partners on this whole project. Blake, Stephen Whiteside, again, thank you. Where's Ben? Man. You need to get up there. We've got all the pictures covered. Oh, yeah. Come on, get in here.
Hold it tight, the ribbon.
He does that every time, man.
That's for photo ops.
There you go.
Yay!
With that said, Angie has defined a beautiful way to commemorate the fishing deck as she does for many of our ribbon cutting ceremony projects, and we're going to have the first cast on behalf of with Ben Otto Sunderman. On behalf of Anderson County government as well as Grady's Great Outdoors, we'd like to present Ben with the ceremonial fishing rod. It has a 1-year guarantee, so if you happen to hang it up in a tree, Grady's will have to take it back. And that sticker's right there at the bottom. Grady's has been a 4-year sponsor of the corridor development, whether it's been kayaking, fishing. They're a huge component of the Saluda River Rally, and they look to reach out anytime. Outdoor recreation supports fishing, kayaking, now cycling actually too. They have a new store, just a little plug. But with that, please go ahead and we'll turn you around, and that's a special Rebel Rapala for you, and you do the ceremonial cast off the deck.
Where do I begin?
Set it up, Matt.
Yeah. Turn around.
You want me to do that, Matt? I'm a better fisherman.
Sounds like a challenge.
Everybody wash their eyes on it. At this point, when you turn around, you just pull that back. You hold that fishing line right there. You flip the bail over. You put your finger where mine is right there, and then you'll just whip it out, and then let your finger go. Okay.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
He was warned.
I think I should sign something.
Hey, that's it.